Hey everyone, welcome to another rapid fire review, this time for Obsidian's The Outer Worlds 2. My expectations for this game were all over the place. On one hand, I really enjoy this genre of game. Pretty much all of the big name games I find worth playing, at least on sale. And outside of Starfield, of course, which I'm not sure has any redeeming qualities at all. And I also thought Outer Worlds 1 was a solid game. It was a bit short, and some of the story and dialogue sections were bland, and the companions were mostly poor, but it did some good world building, and I appreciated the RPG systems. And most importantly, I had a good time with Outer Worlds 1, especially since I got it on what Game Pass used to cost. But on the other hand, Obsidian did have me worried after I slogged through Avowed. I mean, yuck. The only interesting parts of that game were its relation to other games. The rest was just bland, Technicolor fantasy slop. This game also had some really bad PR to start. When Xbox had played the idea of making this one of the first $80 releases, and they only backed down after some pretty heavy backlash. But of course, they kept the $100 edition that granted early access to take advantage of all those impatient gamers, or the fools, trying to make rapid-fire reviews as close to launch windows as possible. But now that it's here, I've got some good things to report. To start, it's got a decent enough character creator. Perhaps it's a bit behind what's become standard, but it's got good enough customization that OJ's true vision for our character was able to emerge. Once we got out of character creator, though, we hit the game's one real rough patch, which is the first couple hours. Now, they do their best to get you immersed in the universe and caught up with what's going on and how you fit in it, but it's quite a bit of NPCs just simply talking at you. And unfortunately, these aren't the interesting NPCs from interesting factions that you'll meet later on. They're kind of boring. Also, at the start, your weapons aren't very good yet. The stealth sections can be tough, and if you get caught, you probably don't have the gear or ammo to shoot your way out. And you really can't do a ton of the fun, creative stuff yet. So the player's first impression of the game can be a little rough. It does take a little bit, but after you level up a few times and you pick up some movement abilities, the game really does come into its own. As the first planet opens up and you get to interact with the different factions, you start to build towards what I enjoy most about this type of game. The highly memorable moments that come from just screwing around in the sandbox they built you. The main storylines aren't always great, and the RPG elements aren't always the deepest, but there's always the opportunity to do crazy things in these games, whether it be on the main or side quests or just screwing around in the world, and that's what keeps me coming back. You may find an outpost of people that trust you, but they're not the nicest people, and after one too many instances of their leader being a jerk to OJ in dialogue, you booby-trap the entire base and kill every single one of them. And you steal all their cool stuff. Or you come across a city that also got mad at OJ when he stole all their stuff. So when the opportunity to save it from total destruction presents itself, you simply don't. Important NPCs or even companions can die, and it's always nice to see your choices impact the world. But if you aren't a nut job like OJ in these games, maybe quick save a lot. The game devs here know that some of us play like psychos, and they make sure that progression has so many paths that even if you just want to become the Ultimo Murder Hobo Loot Goblin, there are ways to progress in that way. In fact, they even made you a Psycho Murderer companion, tailor-made for the thief and stab and OJs of the world. Speaking of which, the companions in Outer World 2 are far less boring than the ones in the first game. Look, there's still at least one super boring guy, but you just ignore him and his whining about stuff, and you just play with the other ones instead. We also didn't personally get to play with one of them because OJ may have blown them up, so we never got to use them. But I hear good things. Whether you like the companions or not, the companion quests are certainly worth doing. You get upgraded gear for them, but even if you don't plan on using them in your group, the amount of experience the quest gives is incredibly high. The stat and perk system in the game is solid. There's a lot to choose from. You'll probably have to specialize in just a few if you want to hit some of the skill check minimums to find some of the particularly creative solutions to the problems the game presents. It's a thoughtfully creative system, especially when paired with perks and flaws. So even if you do stack all non-combat skill points, some of the perks in hacking or engineering will provide big benefits in combat. Or the game will provide the conflict-weary traveler fun opportunities to solve combat situations. I found a room filled with high-level guards, but instead of attacking them head-on, I sabotaged liquid nitrogen cooling systems and froze them all to death while they screamed. And then afterwards, just simply shattered them. You can hack turret systems or automechs to murder everyone for you, poison gas valves, laser traps, all sorts of goodies. The flaw system here got a complete overhaul, so instead of them being purely negative just to get a skill point, now flaws provide a negative and a narrow positive effect. Some are powerful, even game-changing for certain builds. There's one that doubles sneak attack damage at the cost of a huge percentage of your health. I liked one that gave me 3 skill points per level instead of 2, but I could only increase my lowest non-zero stat, which meant at the end of my game I could shoot, hack, lockpick, engineer, talk, or use explosives to get out of whatever situation I was in. The other nice thing about this flaw system that if one doesn't sound like something you want to play around, you can decline it. The game is also very good about letting you know that a flaw isn't recommended for the first playthrough. Some of these flaws are wild, and would be perfect for challenge runs or second playthroughs if you're into that sort of thing. And I actually do feel that this game has some replayability to it as well, even for non-mega fans. The weapon types and playstyles are pretty diverse. The companions you choose will also vary combat situations quite a bit. And with the different factions to choose to ally with or remain neutral, you could easily play a second time around. Stupidly, we paid a little extra money to play early, and we did encounter some bugs. The most annoying of which was disappearing waypoints or odd things with quest markers that made finishing some of them kind of miserable. Some equipment that was supposed to increase damage actually reduced it. Some discounts made things more expensive. Most of the stuff was minor, and hopefully the day one patch fixed many of them. But again, they charge a lot of money for people to play this early, and it ended up in a poorer state. For the story of the game, I would describe the main storyline as good enough. The galaxy's in peril, and we need to fix the issue before everyone dies. You can pick allies or not pick allies, it's up to you. It's not going to win any awards, and it's ultimately not that memorable, but again, good enough. The side quest is where you're going to get the real flavor of the game, I think, so if you aren't the type of player that wants to do a bunch of exploring or side quests, then Outer Worlds 2 may not be for you. As far as the layout goes, there are 4 main planet zones, each with a main city, several forts or outposts, and a variety of quests and places of interest to go check out. Even after completing a planet, you can come back, and there will be new things to do or quests to pick up. Outside of the main zones, there are a few others. Some for commerce and quests, others are faction-specific, but they're all worth checking out. Outer Worlds 2 ultimately feels like a slight upgrade from the original. They made improvements on the game's length and overall content. They improved the companion system and dialogue. The changes to the flaw system add variety and replayability, all while in an excellent sandbox environment. I think if you liked the first game, you're going to like this one. And if you didn't, well, you probably won't, since it's more of the same. I feel it's better, but it's still very much more of the same. The only thing that may complicate things is the price. It's a $70 ask, only after Xbox graciously reduced it from $80. And you'll probably get 25 to 30-ish hours of content out of it in a playthrough. Perhaps more if you want to do every single quest, including the time-consuming collectible fetch quests. But let's be honest, if you're one of those people, you probably already bought the game or are going to regardless. Price has always been personally really important to me for games. And since for this one I was teetering between a 7 or 8 out of 10 for Outer Worlds 2, I'm going to go with a 7. Just the same as I would have given the first. I do think it's a better game, but it's also a more expensive game. And just a reminder, for us at the Angry Joe Show, the average game score is a 5. 6 out of 10 is above average, so 7 is a good game score. And I do think Outer Worlds 2 is a good, but maybe not great game for $70. This game will be a great deal on sale, or perhaps on Game Pass, but only if you find a month with multiple games so you can take advantage of how expensive it is now. Thank you so much for watching this rapid fire review. We have tons of stuff coming still in this game release busy season. So check back with us, and I'll see you then on the next Angry Joe Show.